Man, I've already got Doom on my Game Boy, I've got it on my 3DS, what else can I put it on? Oh, I know. Zune!
We listen to all our music on the most wonderful device ever created, the Zune. Zune, Zune, Zune.
Whoosh! The Hat Man. What's up, guys? Today's video will be about installing Homebrew on all models of Zune. Voila. And I chose Doom to be the premier showcase for Homebrew. That's right, folks, even the Microsoft Zune has Doom. I know I've spent the last month or so on Doom, but I couldn't pass up one more opportunity to talk about Doom. The only model I can't physically show you Homebrew on right now is the Z2F. I don't have batteries and I don't have any money for them. Okay. Next up is the gameplay showcase for Doom on these things, and then it's the Homebrew installation tutorial that covers Homebrew in general, so everyone can follow. It's not just for Doom, it's for everything. So, use the chapters to skip around if you want to. Anyways, let's head right into some gameplay. For the SD version of Doom, you can load only one WAD at a time. If you want to try a different WAD, uninstall and then reinstall with the new WAD. Playing Doom 2 on the Z1 seems to work, but it crashes during gameplay. Playing Doom 1 here, I am playing longer than I ever could on Doom 2. Loading Doom 2 on the Z2H also caused crashes, but playing Doom 1 here seems to be fine. The games, when running, run well until random freezes, and then they run well again until more freezes, and so on. Rather than lag, they freeze, and I would have preferred lag if I could have chosen. Also, there does not seem to be any game sounds at all, which is strange. Side note, I think the freezes might be due to the hard drive. I am curious to see what will happen if I play the games with an SSD. Anyway, the controls seem to differ very slightly between the models too. The center click button and play button are swapped on the Z2. On the Z1, pressing back plus up/down changes weapons, and pressing back plus middle button toggles the map. If you press back plus play, a custom menu appears, but you will never be able to return to the game from it. You will just have to exit and restart the game. And no, option changes do not get saved, so these interesting settings cannot be experimented with. Speaking of saving, the regular game menu cannot be opened, so you cannot save. This version of Doom seems to be nothing more than a novelty, unfortunately. Without saving, there's not much fun to be had if you can't continue and see how far you can push the game. Things are quite different on the Zune HD. First of all, there is a WAD selection screen, and that means you can load up Ultimate Doom, Doom 2, Plutonia, and TNT all at once when installing. Once you are in the menu, you can rotate the Zune to whichever orientation you desire. Tap the screen to bring up the menu. There are on-screen buttons that are fairly self-explanatory. Also, thankfully, this version has sound. No music though, as I think the developer thought it was cooler for people to choose their own soundtracks via their Zune library. Once you start the game, you'll see that the on-screen buttons change a bit. Now there's a map button, attack button, and a use button. The issue though is that there does not seem to be a way to change weapon. Hold it! Never mind, I can see the weapon change button now. It's a little bit hidden. Okay, so this button here, you swipe left or right on to change weapons. Sweet. There is also a menu button. Tap it and then go to Options, and you then tap the Controls button on the screen. This lets you choose which movement motions are controlled by the gyroscope and by the buttons. I chose to move forward, backward, left, and right via tilt. I rotate my view with buttons. Unlike the older Zunes, this custom menu saves your settings and lets you return to the game. Now, have a look at me struggling to play the game. Okay gang, here are the prerequisites. You need at least 15 gigabytes of space available on your PC, and you need to download some things. You will be installing one program on your computer. I recommend keeping at least 25 gigabytes of space free if you are running low. You will not be using all of this space, but you want ample space in case you like the virtual machine stuff and want to use it more often. Alright, now download the Zune Homebrew Pack. All download links are in the description below. Inside the pack are 8 parts. The contents are on the screen. Now, in your Documents folder, or wherever you think is good, make a new folder called VM Shared. This is where you will place the files from the Homebrew Pack. Later on, you will access this folder straight from your VM. Go ahead and extract the contents of this pack to the new folder. Now, download and install VMware Workstation 17 Player. I know, it's a mouthful. During installation, there is an option to check the box for advanced keyboard drivers. You may do so if you want to. I will be doing so. After the program installs, you will have to restart your PC if you installed the keyboard drivers. Once you are back in Windows, launch VMware. Click Create a new virtual machine. Click the second option. Now, browse for the Windows XP ISO that's in the VM shared folder from before. Click Next. Find a Windows XP Professional activation key online and slap it into the Product Key section. Don't feel bad about getting a key online. This OS is not monetized in any form these days. It's dead. Okay, now choose a name and optional password. Click Next. Now, choose a name and VM location. Click Next. Choose a max disk size. I recommend at least 15 gigabytes, but you can go as big as you want. Keep in mind, the real hard drive size is smaller than the size that you're choosing here. If you will be using this VM for more Zune stuff later, bigger is better. Click Store Virtual Disk as a single file. Click Next. Now you can customize the virtual hardware. Click the Customize button. Set the memory. I recommend at least 4 gigabytes, but you can choose what you want. Now click Processors. Set the number to what you want. I recommend at least 4 cores. Customize the rest to your liking at your own risk. Click Close. Now click Finish. You will now install Windows XP. Once setup completes, Windows will pop up as the VM installs some programs for first-time use. Then it will reboot itself. Once all of this stuff is done, you are ready to use the VM. I recommend restarting the VM now. For me, a glitch occurred where the mouse cursor icon and actual position desynced. Once back into Windows XP, you may set the resolution to something larger. Right-click the desktop and then click the Properties option. In the new window, select Setting. I recommend setting the resolution to 1920 by 984, as the window size is not quite 1080p. With that out of the way, it is time to link the folder from earlier. Click the Player tab in the navigation bar. then click Manage, then Virtual Machine Settings. Click the top Options tab, then click Shared Folders. Click Always Enabled and Map as Network Drive, then click Add. Navigate to the VM shared folder and select it. Click Finish. Click OK. Now, navigate to My Computer. You should see the shared folder as a Network Z drive. Minimize this for later. It is now time to begin installing programs! We will start with Visual Studio 2008. Navigate back to the virtual machine settings. Click CD/DVD. Under Connection, click Use ISO, and then locate the ISO within the VM shared folder. Click OK. Go back to My Computer and double-click the CD drive. Now, click the green box in the new window. You will now install Visual Studio. This is required by the Homebrew programs that we will be installing soon. In the installation options, uncheck All. Finish the installation and exit the CD program. Once done, you can install the two XNA Studio 3.1 EXEs from the VM shared folder. Also, copy the XNA Device Center app and the Zune SD hack tool to your desktop. Then copy the Homebrew folder to My Documents. Once all three programs are installed and the other files are copied, we can install the Zune software. This is the latest version of Zune for PC, so don't worry about that. Install the program. It will then tell you to reboot Windows XP. Reboot. Open the Zune program and set it up with your preferences, then close it. Now, plug your Zune into your PC. We will now pass it through the VM to install the drivers. In the pop-up window, click Connect to Virtual Machine and hit OK. Now we will install the drivers. Navigate to Control Panel. Switch to Classic View, Administrative Tools, Computer Management. Then, on the left side, click Device Manager. Right-click the unknown device and hit Update Driver. In the new window, click the middle option and Next. Click Install from a list and Next. Click the checkbox for Include this location and browse to the C Program Files /Zune/Drivers/Zune and click Next. The drivers will now install. Launch the Zune software to ensure the Zune shows up. you may have to disconnect and reconnect the Zune, or open and close the software a couple times, or both, and also wait a couple of minutes. Once the Zune shows up in the software, close it. If it does not show up, but shows as connected to the PC, restart the Zune and wait for it to show up in the software. Now, again, close the Zune software. The penultimate step is to launch XNA Device Center from the desktop. Click Add Device. Click Zune. If you have a Zune HD, unlock the device so that it is in the menu. Select your Zune. Click Next. Click Finish. Minimize the window. Now, only if you are not using a Zune HD, launch the Zune SD Hack tool. Click Accept. Choose the target. Click Deploy. Wait for it to finish. At long last, you are ready to install Homebrew. After you've deployed the hack on your Z1H or Z2H/Z2F, you can go ahead and choose whatever Homebrew you want. It is also time to install whatever you want for Z3F as well. Return to My Documents and enter the Homebrew folder. Choose which Zune type you are using. Note that there are two types of installers. The ones with the gray and orange X with the file extension .ccgame, and then the ones contained within the folders that have exe launchers. For the ccgame apps, you must set your desired Zune to be the default within the XNA Device Center. With the other kind, you are given a drop-down menu box to select the desired Zune. For me, this is necessary to check since I use multiple Zunes. After you install your games, you are done. You can unplug your Zune and try them out. Now, for installing Doom, you will want to gather WAD files from official releases and drop them into your VM shared folder. Then, for Zune HD, go to My Documents, the Homebrew, Zune HD Homebrew, Games, Doom, Doom 4.0, Data, then Content. This is where you will drop in your WAD files. The WAD that is already here is the limited level shareware version of Doom. You can delete it if you have your own WAD. Now, back out until you're in the folder with the deploy kit. Run the program, choose the right Zune, and click Deploy. When it finishes, you are done. Okay, Zune SD time. Navigate to the Homebrew folder again, but this time go to the Zune SD Homebrew folder and then Games. Unzip the Doom file here. Enter the new Doom folder, then Data, and here you will paste in one WAD file. Move or delete the shareware WAD that is already in the folder. Reminder, Doom 2 crashes constantly. Choose Doom 1 if you want to actually play Doom. Now, back out of this folder and launch the deploy kit. Choose the Zune you want, then hit deploy. Once that finishes, you are done. Now, go play Doom. Rip and tear! Well, folks, that's all I have. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you found this tutorial useful. Let me know what Zune stuff you want to see in the future. I had fun producing this video, and I thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.